Well, along the way, Demi, has there been a trade that almost made you want to give up before you developed the resolve that you have now? Because it sounds like you have the backing of your own resolve and obviously everybody following you thinking how inspirational this is for themselves.
Definitely. So there was a couple of times. One, when someone drove a car all the way across country, it got to us and it broke down in the parking lot when it got to San Francisco. And at that moment, obviously the trade had already happened, so I had to figure out what to do with the broken down car. And then a second time, I traded for a diamond necklace after a jeweler had appraised it, and it looked like it was worth $20,000. And I took it to a local jeweler. Turns out it was only worth $2,000. So I had already made the trade again. And I think these kinds of things obviously are upsetting when it happens, and you sort of have to take a step back and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Why does it matter? And then you build back up. So I think it does show you that it's not the easiest thing to do. There's definitely a lot of times where I really have to take a deep breath, but it's still working and we're still moving in a positive direction. So it's good.
Okay, so we all want to know this, Dr. Orden, Dr. Nee and I, we want to start doing some trades too. So what is the secret for a successful trade? Give us some tips.
So a couple of things. I think one of the things that I've learned is that if you have something in a certain category, so say it's a MacBook from 2010, nobody's going to trade you for a MacBook from 2015 because it's very clear that like the two things are too similar and you can tell which one's better than the other. So I like to try and trade like a MacBook for maybe an iPhone or a MacBook for something in a different category, just so you can't really tell which one is a little bit better than the other. The other thing is, what people don't know is that I reach out to probably 2,000 people for every trade. So this isn't me just like waiting on somebody to offer me something. This is me messaging 2,000 people every single day, probably over 3 weeks time, until I find that one person that says yes. So for every 1,999 no's, I get one yes, and then that's the trade.
I am curious about this. You started with the bobby pin. You want a house. You're in San Francisco. Do you want a house in San Francisco? Because real estate there is really expensive, or will you settle for a house anywhere in the United States?
I think, honestly, I picked the worst city to want a house, so I'm open to anywhere in the U.S. I think it's part of the fun journey. I've actually decided that I'm going to donate the house in the end, so the person who we decide gets it. It'll be somebody in Trade Me Project family, as we call it, so one of the 5 million people, and they will trade me a bobby pin back for the house. So I'm thinking it'll come.
I love that.
Yeah. It's more about the journey for me and like, is it possible to even do it? And I think once I know that it's possible, I'm going to give it to somebody who really, really needs it. And hopefully there's somebody in whatever state we get.